Hey Bayek, it's me Ian. And in today's video, well, I'm continuing my look at classic Doctor Who, the Golden Era. And this is the Two Doctors from 1985. Previously, we'd had The Mark of the Rani, and the next one will be Timelash. Now, this is season 22, and this is the 14th story, and it's made up of 3 episodes, 45 minutes. And this is another sort of Doctor Who celebration kind of story, which we've had before, bringing back previous Doctors together. This was transmitted on the 16th of February to the 2nd of March 1985. Now, it was written by Robert Holmes. Robert Holmes, what a great contributor to Doctor Who. 18 stories he wrote between 1968 to 1986, and those 18 stories comprised of 73 episodes. Wow. Now, some of his highlights of his career, he started with the Crotons in 1968 and went right through to the Ultimate Four, 1986. Some of the stories include, I'm not going to list everyone, but they're sort of classic stories. Right, we've got Terror of the Autons, 1971, he wrote that. He wrote The Time Warrior, 1973, The Ark in Space, 1975, Pyramids of Mars, 1975. See what I mean? These are really classic stories. The Brain of Morbius, of course, 1976. The Deadly Assassin, 1976. The Talons of Wang Chang, 1977. And, well, The Caves of Androzani, 1984. That is a highly rated story. There's just some, they're not all the stories, but they're just some that I thought I'd highlight. This is the quality of this writer. And Robert Holmes, what a contributor. This one is also directed by Peter Moffat. He directed State of Decay, 1980, The Visitation, 1982, Mordred Undead, 1983, The Five Doctors, 1983, and The Twin Dilemma, 1984, which we would rather not talk about. So it's, as usual, produced by John Nathan Turner. The script editor, I should mention, is, of course, Eric Saywood. He's really in a great period of writers that he's using. Absolutely fantastic in this. The music is by Peter Howell again. Locations, always important. And this is the policy of John Nathan Turner, wanting to use more locations. He was so ambitious, he really wanted to use America, but they couldn't do it. But they went to Spain, and so this was Sevilla in Andalusia, and it shows it always adds when you've got location filming to a story. So let's go through the cast. We've got Colin Baker as the Sixth Doctor, Patrick Troughton, Second Doctor, Nicola Bryant as Perry, and Fraser Hines, yes, as Jamie. It's good to see Fraser Hines as Jamie. And of course, he had a great relationship in the stories with Patrick Troughton. So seeing all these together is just magic. It really is. Then we've got John Stratton, who plays Shockeye. John Stratton had a very interesting career. Films included The Cruel Sea, 1953, The Man in the Sky, 1957, Strangler's Web, 1966, and a late Hammer film, I think it's the last of the Frankenstein films, was Frankenstein and the Monster from Hell, 1974. Some great stuff, and a lot of TV stuff as well, TV series as TV films. Then we've got the wonderful Jacqueline Pearce, who plays Chesney. Jacqueline Pearce, I always look and think, wow, she was in a couple of great Hammer films. She was in Plague of the Zombies, 1966. She was in The Reptile, 1966. Other films, these are just a few, there were other ones, but these are two I've highlighted. White Mischief, 1988, which is well thought of, and Princess Caraboo, 1994. But of course, you're all saying, yes, what about her major role? And of course, she is well known for playing Servalan in Blake 7, which ran between 1978 and 1981. And as I all know, she was superb as Servalan. Absolutely fantastic. I think she was so good. She's one of the great villains. Really, she is fantastic in it. She played the role so well. And it's good to see her in Doctor Who. She's really good. Really enjoyed seeing her performance. This you want to know is what it's about. A rough idea. Now, it's, well, as you often get, you get these crazy scientists, and we've got a biogeneticist who intends to steal the knowledge of how to time travel, as you do, of course, from the Doctor's genetic makeup. Yes. So if he can get that, he thinks, of course, that he'll be able to get time travel. And then with this, we've got this alien species called androgons, and they have this gluttonous urges, are very much part of their species, where they want to eat lots of different experiences, particularly alien flesh, human flesh, any kind of things like that. They're extreme. They've got this ravenous appetite. And it's interesting that Jacqueline Pearce is somebody who has this within her, but it's been modified and controlled, but it's in there. But the other character, Shockeye, he's just full on, and all we'll hear about is him and this appetite that he's got. And the Doctor and Perry walk into all this, and we've then got the added time stuff that we always get with the Second Doctor and Jamie also involved in this. And what can I say? To see Patrick Troughton is absolutely fantastic. And Fraser Hines as Jamie. I love just seeing them. But I've got to be honest in my assessment on this. I can understand now why it has not rated as highly. Because if you look at with the other multiple Doctor stories, three doctors, the five doctors, it is really far behind them. Those two are so much fun. They're so exciting, really enjoyable. This, it's not. Some people have blamed the director, saying it's bad direction. I don't really know, because it's a Robert Holmes story, but for me, it's repetitively boring in places. If they keep going on and on, this character about the appetites and the flesh is always making, it becomes boring, repetitive, and it turns. I think anybody watching this just gets fed up with it. I did. And I hate that, because this is Patrick Troughton back as the Doctor and Colin Baker, and they're good. Seeing Colin Baker's always good. And seeing Jamie and Perry together, well, what can go wrong? But it did. It just doesn't work. It's, as I say, I would put this as one of the lowest of those Doctor stories. When they come together, past Doctors, it's such a shame. It really is. It feels like a missed opportunity, and especially as it's Robert Holmes' story. What is going on here? It's I thought that, now watching this, I'm much more critical, I think, than I was when I first saw it. And I see it now and just think this is so disappointing. It really is. And if that bloke goes on about his eating somebody again, I swear I'm going to strangle the bugger. Oh, man. He just gets on your nerves. He really does, and drags the whole story down. I really was so disappointed, because I've enjoyed Colin Baker. And as I say, Colin Baker is great, his performance. And seeing Patrick Troughton is always a wonderful pleasure to see Patrick Troughton in great form. But really, what was going on here? I can't just blame the director, because Robert Holmes wrote this story. Couldn't they see there was something intrinsically wrong in this story? It doesn't feel a good story at all. When you're thinking, please get on with it. And, if you've got good locations, you've got all the ingredients there, but it falls flat. And I say, when I look at it, it's not, even for Colin Baker's stories, obviously it's not as bad as Twin Dilemma, but it's a disappointment, because I've really enjoyed the Colin Baker stories we've seen. From after Twin Dilemma has been really enjoyable. But this, it's sad to see. I didn't realise so much now when I've just watched it, with more, I suppose, more critical eyes. And I've been really enjoying Colin Baker, and this just, you kind of wish this wasn't there. I mean, in the sense of, it's always good to see Patrick Troughton, and I love to see Patrick Troughton, but it's a wasted opportunity with this. It really is. And I suspect some people won't agree with me, but this is how I just feel watching it, because I've just comparing it, being, trying to be as fair as possible, comparing it with the Colin Baker stories. And if you're going to compare it with all in the history of Doctor Who, of where doctors from different periods get together, multi-Doctor stories, this must be one of the worst. It may not be the totally worst, but I think, thinking about it, I think it is. Which is sad, really. What can I say? It really is not good. Especially his classic Doctor Who, which I adore, classic Doctor Who. But there we are. Now, This was released on VHS 1993, DVD 2003, and it got a Blu-ray release in 2022 in Doctor Who The Collection Season 22. And before I go, as usual, I'll just show you this. So here's my copy. The Two Doctors. Again, it's got some good extras on there. Actually, this includes the controversial Jimmy Savile one. If you look inside, you see, you've got 2 discs. You've got a disc full of extras, and then this nice leaflet, as always, there. And I'll show you this. Beautiful, these. Here it is. Doctor Who, The Collection. Fantastic. At the back there. And again, got some brilliant extras, more documentaries. Look at this story. Looks great as well. Absolutely fantastic on here in these Blu-rays. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed that. And if you haven't enjoyed this, please give it a like. If you give it a like, it gets it out onto YouTube, and then other people might enjoy it. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you look at the playlist, you can see all the previous Doctor Who stories that I've reviewed. But you can see that I do a lot of film reviews and TV shows and a bit of music, all with a retro feel to it. And if you've got any comments, please put your comments down. I'll always reply to your comments. And that's it. Yes. So all I've got to say is, I'll see thee again.